This video shows how to install new heavy leaf springs on the rear of a 2000 Ford F-250. Stock springs are rated about 3,000 pounds. The new springs are rated about 4,400 pounds. Much better for hauling a truck camper. So we're setting up all the jack stands under the frame rails, and we have a 3-ton floor jack. So it's got the tires off.
I'm done off the bottom bracket of the Firestone air springs, airbags, whatever you want to call them. We got the bolts are soaking again in lubricant. Okay, you can see that they are stretched, but that's they're supposed to be pretty tough. So I'm going to get ripping this one here off.
You can see they're stretched, but they're tough.
There's one. Those look like wheel lug size.
Yeah, I got a socket for it.
Okay.
On the other side.
Oh,
I don't have.
We can just swing these out of the way.
Now we're removing the old U-bolts. It's best to do one side at a time, and you'll see why in the video.
Well, that's pretty good for... Yeah, that bolt I had to cut the top off to fit the bracket.
Use lots of lubricant. I sprayed the bolts about 3 days in advance of doing this project a couple of times. It worked pretty good. All the bolts came apart fairly easily.
That beats cutting them.
Well, I imagine having the lubricant on there helped a bit with...
Yes, it did.
Excellent.
Now we're removing the front shackle bolt.
Got it.
I guess this thing has a
dog on it.
A dog on
tab.
it. Yeah.
That's the nut. The nut.
Okay, let's go do the other side now.
We're leaving the bolts in place. Keeping the spring in place until we're ready to pull it.
Okay, take this hammer, hit the bolt. Hit the bolt with a hammer.
Oh.
Yeah. No, the nut. Hit the nut with the hammer.
Okay.
I'm at a better... Oh, you can do it, yeah. Smack it. Really smack it. Now try the air gun on it.
We didn't need to use heat on any bolt.
I also have a torch.
Oh, you do? See what a little force can do?
Yep.
And lubricant.
Okay, so...
Now we're doing the lower bolt.
Okay.
You can see the 4 springs in the leaf pack. And the large plus one isn't in frame yet. And on the bottom, that's the plus one. Okay, and now we're going to pull the spring pack out.
Give you a hand.
Take notice the brake cable is on the inside.
Is not supposed to go down?
Well, we probably could have had it up a little higher.
Oh, this should just slide right out.
And it does.
There.
See, the Firestone airbags are just dangling. They move out of the way pretty easily.
Okay. Well,
we're comparing the springs here.
It's going to take both of us to put.
We take the wrench and we put it on this bracket here. Okay, that is a thickness gauge, and we try to put it on the factory bracket. You can see the factory bracket is thicker, and I'll do the same on the factory bracket now. It also is, see how it's got this reinforcing curve here, and this bracket doesn't have that reinforcing curve. So we are going to make an executive decision to leave the factory Ford brackets in place. They're a better bracket, heavier duty, better construction. Yeah, and that's right about where the spring would be. Okay.
And we were just making sure that the cable went on the inside of the spring.
Watch your fingers now.
It's a heavy new spring. You see it has the 6 leaves and the thick plus one at the bottom.
Okay, let's just rock it down here. Roll it over.
And it's pretty heavy. It wants to roll, so be careful when you're handling it. And with these big springs, 2 people is better than 1.
My way.
We're going to install it without the 2-inch block, lift block on the axle. We'll put the lift block on after we get the shackles bolted in place.
Now we gotta get the center bolt. Let's get that front bracket lined up first. Hang on, let me get in here. No, let's use the bar. Let's use the bar.
There you go.
Okay, so
For the record, 27.
27 millimeters.
So that'd be like engine an 8.
Yeah.
That's the front shackle bolt, the new bolt.
Put it forward for you.
Okay.
And to tighten the bolt, you come down from the top of the bracket, and from coming down from the top, you can get inside the bends of the bracket to reach the nut. Now we're installing the rear shackle.
Okay, we're at.
The top bolt, the bolt goes
I'm not coming down with you under there.
from the frame outward, and the nut is on the outside of the spring.
That's good enough.
And you need to install it that way so that it doesn't rub against the frame.
Okay.
The lower one,
Back up.
the bolt goes from the outside in toward the frame, and that is a stationary bolt.
You're gonna need a
nut,
big
so
pry bar to
it's
get it over
no
there.
big deal for motion. So we're positioning the shackle, trying to pop the spring down into the mount
It
bracket.
should be good. If you can come
It's
in.
not enough.
Well, I'm past it.
Okay.
And there it goes.
You're gonna need the line up punch.
Yes.
You got the bolt?
Yes.
The lineup punch goes through the mount hole on
you
the
need to
shackle bracket
operate the
through
jack.
the shaft tube in the bushing and lines them up so that you
Don't move
can
it.
put the bolt through. There, see how easy that is once you line it up?
That was easy. How often does that happen?
Not too often.
Okay.
Do I have the right wrench? Yep. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
And you just tighten it on down. Air gun tight.
Go. Okay. Now,
Want to back up?
yeah, just jack it up just a hair. That's good.
Now we're starting to remove the right side spring. Dave is removing the U-bolts. The airbag has already been disconnected. Factory U-bolts are not nearly as strong as the new U-bolts, supplied with the kit. The factory U-bolts had 5/8 coarse thread on a 9/16 shaft or bolt, and the new U-bolts are 5/8 inch
I don't think so.
threads, fine threads, on a 5/8 shaft.
Too small. See, this one does.
So they're designed to have a lot more strength in them, and they will torque up to around 200 pounds of torque. And you want them on tight. You'll see how we tighten them down.
You have any grinding
later.
It's not very far off.
So we used this tapered pin to, we hammered it into the hole and expanded the hole out.
We're talking about
the reason
the
we could do
top
that
plate
is
for
it
the
is a
springs.
punched hole, and the bottom of the hole is narrower
That's the center
than
hole
the
for the
top
spring
of the hole that
pack,
we're looking at
bolt,
now.
and nut.
And so
You
it
have
was
to make that larger.
just enough that we would hammer it and drive the expanding shaft through there, and it opened up the hole enough to get it on the nut.
You can drill it or grind it. We used a long tapered shaft
we got here
and
is
just
that
hammered
front-
it in and expanded it.
There's a lean on the axle, so when we tighten up the U-bolts, that should suck that back up into position.
You see we have the 2-inch lift block under the spring pack on the axle now. You can also see that the front of the axle is tilting down.
Try it with the bar.
And we're going to slide the jack forward under the yoke of the axle and jack that up to align the axle flat to the bottom of the leaf springs, and you'll
As
see
you can
that
see,
shortly.
we're assembling this with the Firestone airbags in place. It's a little bit of a hassle, but
Okay.
And this is straightening it out.
how's that work?
Keep going.
Okay.
No. Why'd you loosen it?
I did.
Go higher.
Okay, point the camera at the thing that we're trying to correct. Or is it already corrected?
It's the lift block.
No, it's not quite
Look
corrected.
at that gap in the front.
Explain what's happening.
Left.
Okay, the axle is flattening out against the spring as he jacks up the front of the axle
And the lift block.
and the lift block. It looks like that's all we need to do right there. Don't go anymore.
Got it?
Yep.
Excellent.
And now we can continue tightening down the
Now what we
U-bolts.
will do is tighten up the rest of it.
Yeah, those will have to get sawzalled off.
Forget the sawzall, it barely touches them. Use a 4-inch grinder with a cut wheel.
Dave likes that the nuts in the U-bolt kit are long nuts.
They're tall nuts.
Tall nuts. So they have good holding power. But you still have to watch your torque. Torque properly.
See, the air gun can't do it. So
Well,
what
we
we
got to cut those.
that did it.
Now we're using that 4x6 to
Okay, tight.
help get a fulcrum to
They're parallel now.
squeeze or
And I don't know why they weren't in the first
force
place.
the
Oh, put them on the
U-bolt
back now.
straight
You have to tighten
up
them up
and down
evenly, you know?
against the spring pack and the lift blocks on the axle. You want to have them straight up and down, no gaps.
I don't know why they're doing this, but... Okay, now let's move to the other side and I'll pry on it a little bit. The outside. These bolts. I can pry on that pretty easy. 2.5. 2.5.
So we tighten down the nuts on the U-bolts until they're roughly the same length on each side of the axle,
Let's
front
tighten that
and rear,
inside one a
the
little
same
bit more.
U-bolt. And then we're going to get the grinder and cut off the excess
And then when
bolt.
they're all even,
Then
we
we will get
cut them
a
off.
long half-inch
Torque
ratchet
they should be, I
with
think.
an extension bar,
I've always
and then
tightened
we're
them
going to really torque them down.
As tight as,
You'll see that.
tight as you can get them without
So
breaking
2.5 inches on all of them.
So that'd be
2.5.
2.5.
2.5. This one looks taller than 2.5.
Yeah, it looks 2.5.
Yeah, it's 2.5. Maybe a little bit more. They're even enough, and now we're.
Yeah. So try to even them up. Now we're grinding off the excess length on the bolt. The Sawzall blades just
Oh, that was quick.
lasted only seconds. The 4-inch grinder with the cutting wheel eats right through them. This took all of 5 seconds.
Can't see with these things on.
He's got dirty safety glasses. And we were taking precautions. We both had plenty of protective wear, safety glasses, and it's the camera looking at it, not me. I've got a face shield on. Okay, now I'll continue tightening the bolts down, and then we will see the ratchet can only go so tight. It's not a very good half-inch air gun.
No,
It just doesn't have a
do we
lot
want
of power to
4-inch
it.
or
Huh?
let the compressor catch up? So what do you want to do?
Well,
with,
this is that's a 5/8 bolt, right?
I believe, yeah.
The torque on that is about.
He says about 200.
Okay, so Dave has my big ratchet handle, and he's giving it the torque down. He's giving it the rundown.
See, the center bolt is not enough to compress these springs together.
No.
These are what do it.
And Dave wants them compressed. Oh, look at that. He's going full foot force on this.
You got a pipe.
Well, I mean,
put
do
on
we
there?
really want it that tight?
Absolutely.
Really?
On our garbage trailers, we used
Now remember, this is a pickup truck.
our garbage trailers, we used a 10-foot bar, but the bolts were 1 inch thick.
Yeah.
Dave was a maintenance superintendent for a large corporation for years. He has years of experience in working on heavy equipment. He's using my rebar
the
bender.
concrete bender as an extension, and he insists that these things have got to be tighter than, what is the sign?
Cat tight.
Cat tight.
Caterpillar.
Yeah, but in layman's terms, it's like tighter than shit.
Well, that's why they give you the tall nuts.
Yeah. But you know, they didn't give me a
I would only
spec.
let Dave
It
use a
included no
36-inch
directions on it,
extension.
but-
He
I
was
don't use
forbidden
a
to
torque
go any
wrench on
longer.
those.
No. Okay. So it's dead reckoning.
It's whatever feels good when they feel like they're stretched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't even know if these have stretch to them.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if they're designed to be stretched.
I think they're grade 8 here, but they're mild steel in the U.
Okay, just in how they
Yeah,
temper
the
it.
threads are heat treated.
Okay, I think we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel good.
That one seemed a little looser in how your pull went. Stroke.
And that is
No,
how
whenever
tight
we
you
had
want
broken
them.
springs at the landfill is because the U-bolts weren't tight. And the first thing we did with a new trailer, while we got it up, we might as well just stick it in there.
We're starting the right side now. Same technique as the left.
Come back a ways.
Get the spring pack in place, bolt in the front and rear shackles, and then we'll put in the lift blocks, 2-inch lift blocks that go on the axle. The lift blocks did not need to be drilled. They fit over the center bolt on the spring pack, but the upper plate where the U-bolts bolt, that had to be expanded again on that center hole.
So first of all, it's got to go up in the back into that shackle. Okay. Okay, now let's go back your way. Not too bad. Okay. Now, line up tool and possibly this 4x4. Never mind, I got it. Where's that? You got the bolt?
Yep.
Here.
Okay, so Dave's taking care of the front, and I'll get the back bolts in place.
You got her.
Yeah.
There you go. Sweet.
Is our washer?
Yeah, it's right behind you.
I got it.
Dave was actually sitting on the washer.
Okay, it's not going anywhere, so let's get the shackle put in now.
Okay. So it's an interesting little factoid. According to Dave, where was that nut?
I've been to bolt school.
I've been to bolt school. Okay. So on these bolts, there is lettering on them, if I can find it. Okay, right here, this lettering. And that lettering always goes to the top.
Outside.
To the outside.
Yeah, and a flat washer, always, the rounded edge always goes up.
Yeah.
The lettering is
Against the
visible.
Just like that. Okay, and that is because what? The cut
of the threads are designed to
bite that way.
bite that way.
Nut, and now you know. Okay, so we're putting in the
Basically, you're cross-threading.
bolt and nut for the rear
I
shackles.
can see better. Oh, you got it.
The shackles go in
Now
one
we're
way,
gonna let the
so
jack
you want to
down.
make sure that the metal on
light.
the back of the shackle, where the shackle folds
No, it definitely
over,
goes the other way.
is
I think we did the other side right.
on the back of the spring. You don't want
So
it
swing this around
so
now.
that it will
I think we're
come
going to need to turn it around now.
over onto the
Look at the
spring
other side first.
when the spring
It's right now.
I don't know, maybe
Sticks
not.
back.
I think
Yeah, because what happens here is, as the shackle is probably going to go this way,
Yes.
this metal here is going to drop down, because over here, if it was on this side, it would be swinging up into the spring.
and that's how we did the other side.
And so this side is
Correct.
We got it the same.
So
Nope.
pay attention
15,
to how you
16.
install your shackles.
I just this socket fits the nut. This socket fits the nut, but it does not fit the bolt. I think I have a wrench that fits the bolt here. 15/16.
This.
Hey, I got one that fits the bolt. Okay, we're ready to go. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and the right side rear shackle
Okay.
is now
Good. So I
set
got the
up.
rear shackle tight, And we decided that the metal goes to
Yeah,
the back of the spring.
but we're gonna finish this side first.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Now we're tightening down the U-bolts,
that's all.
and
Keep
we'll set
tightening.
them at 2.5
And then measure
inches
it.
up
Take a
from
measure
the
on it
nut
now at
again.
2.5 inches. This one's looking good.
And the axle tilt is already corrected
2
from the other side.
7/16.
That's good enough.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't. It's. I guess you can go a little more if you want.
And on this side, the U-bolts lined up
Okay.
straight with the spring
Okay.
pack and
Now
blocks.
inside brakes, it can hit your hand.
Yeah, well, I'm not holding you are.
And let's cut the excess off.
Well, I'd hold it.
Yeah, the Sawzall simply could not do this.
I'm going slow this time, huh?
Mm-hmm. Our works are coming our way this time.
We're cutting about 1/4 of an inch above the nut.
You definitely feel the heat on those.
Oh yeah.
Now we had intended to use the grinder to remove the rivets on the factory rear shackle mounts, but we decided against that because the factory mounts were better than the new mounts.
So now we,
I think that they're already tighter than that air gun can go.
yeah. You got that breaker bars over there, ain't it?
Right behind, right there.
Don't need this yet, though. There.
And now we're going to torque down the right side U-bolts.
I would rather right there.
Same technique.
Okay, I'm gonna put this on.
There's the breaker bar, and we'll just
And
tighten them on
the
down.
concrete bender goes back on. Let me get out of the way here. Okay, stroke! So there's Dave showing his tightening technique here. Years and years of practice.
Years and years of watching people.
That's right.
I did it myself a lot.
Yeah, see, Dave, he got so good at it that they even gave him his own monkey suit with his name on it.
I have to make 2.5-inch spacer blocks for the Firestone airbags. That's how much change in elevation, or how much lift the spring has. And I almost don't even really
I'm
need
starting to hear
the
squeaks
airbags
as he
anymore.
tighten now.
They're getting tight.
Yeah. As long as they don't burst off on me while I'm in the middle of nowhere.
They won't.
Otherwise I'll call you up and say, yeah, hey Dave, want to grab five-gallon buckets, a funnel, a tarp, and some wrenches?
Change out a fuel tank.
Yeah, you gotta fix my U-bolts. Okay, and Dave is just about done there.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Piece of wire.
With this.
Right now I'm just doing a temporary wiring the airbag bracket in place so that it doesn't flop around, and I'll take care of the lift blocks or the spacer blocks
just to
in a few days.
Keep them from flying all over the place.
But with these springs, basically all I need is about 10 pounds in the airbags. And what I like about the airbags is that it supplies a third point.
Well, I mean, just it'll be on the ground, but it's the camper load is what is the whole point of doing this. Okay, so there you go. The airbag bracket is tied off, and I'll see what it looks like after we get the wheels on and lower it down, and go from there. Maybe put the camper on and see what happens with it. And I could put blocks under there, but the bag may just not be necessary anymore. Okay, so let's go to the other side now. Pretty well finished with it. We're going to put the wheels on and then go for a test drive. Okay, 100 pounds torque. I'm ready. Okay, so Dave and I have finished a blazingly fast job of swapping out the stock leaf springs with the new 6+1 leaf springs. Stockers are about 3,000 pound rated, and the new ones are 4,400 pounds rated. The truck is riding 1.5 inches higher, so we are going on a maiden test drive, see how it handles. And I also have to get gas desperately, so let us go.
Go by 324 first.
Yeah, well, actually I better get gas first. It's halfway on the way. Oh, I'm in four-wheel drive. Yeah, let's take it out of four-wheel drive first. We're in four-wheel drive to
You're still in.
Help prevent
You just stop and
roll.
back up a little bit.
Oh, it'll unlock here in a second. Now that I'm going straight. And we beat the rain. Look at that. The clouds are moving in. It's looking nasty out. So very good timing. I'm really happy.
Dave's even happier.
Dave's even happier because he didn't have to tell me, go screw yourself. I'm going inside. What do you think?
Bouncy.
Yeah, it seems bouncy. But, well, I mean, that's not so much the truck as it is the road.
The truck did actually run pretty smooth.
Okay, so our pizza delivery girl is going to Costco to get a large combo. Okay, so let's take a quick measurement here. Okay, 43 and 1/4.
43 and 1/4 and 43 and 3/4 on the other side.
I thought it was 42 and 3/4. Okay, so 43 and 1/4. .42 and 3/4. So we're a ½ inch of difference in height.
And that's not unreasonable.
Let's just check yours here real quick. It's not perfect, we're on the ground, but 41 and 42.
Yeah, but I'm on a slope.
Mm-hmm.
Let's measure your front sleeves.
Okay, my front tire left here, I think it's low, but let's see. 37
and 1/8.
Yeah. And over here is
38.
38.
And 1/4.
Yeah. Yeah,
38 and 1/8.
Yeah. So the other side, the tire is low.
Yeah, it is.
So it's within a ½ an inch. What checking? No.
Good to go.